Period. Thanks, baby. Welcome to June 2025. You know who you are. Welcome into the space, man. Welcome into the room. I am so glad to be here. Just wanted to reconnect with all of you and let you know. Again, as always, my name is Virgo St. North Node. You are tapped into the June zodiac sign specific forecast breakdown reading planning sesh. That's what we're doing here. Basically, I felt like June was all about prophecy, and I felt like there's such a big gap for people to really tangibly start to embody and work with that phenomena that is prophecy being, the name of the game. And, sort of understanding what I mean when I say like reconnecting to self in such a way that it allows you to restore your original blueprint as to like what life should have been pre the shit stains and lagoon. So welcome to the space. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. We're going to go ahead and break down also what we're going to do using the Crystal Resonance Tarot for an overview of the month. Sorry about that. I hate that. Energy moving. But anywho, we're going to do the Crystal Resonance to go ahead and give us the overview theme of the month. We'll use the 4-week breakdown to go ahead and tell you how the weeks will be processing using the major arcana, and then we'll clarify with the minor arcana so that you can kind of meet the overview with guided action and advice from spirit. So to the sign that this is, let's just keep it easy. Let's see. Thanks for being here with me, y'all. Oh my God. I'm like he's snotty for you. And it's like Cancer. This is being like emotional. Anyways. Cancer. Okay. Well, let's turn it the fuck up for Cancer, because Cancer's been having me lit the past few months in terms of your energy and your reads. I love you, Cancer. I think you're going to probably have a lot of reason to be like, oh my God, like what? Like, yeah, that's kind of like what I feel like June is giving for you. So much Cancerian emotional stability coming into you, Cancer. So much expansion energy coming to your energy. Finally, it's time for Cancer to move forward. It's time for Cancer to be released back to the great waters, This June for Cancers, I'm just channeling, is like, you accidentally got mangled into, like, you're a crab in the ocean and deep sea fisher boats came through and like brought a net straight through your hood, got you netted up, and now next thing you know, you're on your way to fucking a freight train to go to a city to be sold at a market. And this is as if like lightning strikes that fucking boat, their net disintegrates in the water, you get let free, and you and your niggas run free in the ocean and never get caught again. Like, that's June for Cancer. It's like, after so long in captivity, finally having done the work to untangle the net, process the trauma of it all, and really keep your head on straight as to like why you belong under the sea. You know what I mean? I just feel like Cancer's like coming back into their element. There's so many intuitives with Cancer, but I just feel like so many of your energetics, like Cancer season's going to be proper. And I think for a lot of the restoration is like going to hit indiscriminately, like no matter whether you're a Cancer that has been like really like on path to like healing and serving themselves, or you're a Cancer that's just like getting the news that like you're being released from this cycle now, so it's time to start those things. The restoration is still given to you, and that's how you come into awareness of that. So no titties. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of the frequency right now is, just being able to stand in that and commit in that. So congratulations to you, Cancer, for that opening download. You're just special for that. So let's see what your overview is for the month. Love you guys. Okay, we can't. It's too much. So we can't. It's too much. Yeah. Cancer, your whole June is going to be about connecting the dots between how you manifest, like gravity, really, like the gravity of who you are. I think, Cancers, for a higher or low vibration, you are going to be feeling the gravity of what it is to be you, right? The weight of the fire that burns inside of you. And, Cancer, I think you really have a pivotal question. It's like, am I going to connect deeply to my life force energy so that I can really manifest the life that I want on this planet? Or am I going to continue to, keep my energy centers captive in these spaces that I have outgrown, which always prevents the light from ever touching the interior of my life, because we've got to let the sunshine into your innermost, crab meat, the inside of you. And I know the feeling of being burned, I know, but I think that's the initiation, right? These things are meant to activate you, these wounds are meant to motivate you, to be excited that the universe only let it get to this place to this level of captivity because of how much what's for you is meant to like replenish you and keep you in your freedom and in your sovereignty for the rest of your days. So, whatever it is you are coming up to and through right now, Cancer, just know in the overview, like, I'm really excited because I believe Jupiter is expanding the amount of life force that you have. And therefore, you're really about to be able to manifest light that I think you've long awaited. So let's look at the first week of June, June 1st through the 8th, your major arcana. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, shit, skis. All right, dude, ski. All right, dude, ski. You're going to choke yourself. Titties. Like, dude. Okay, let's get situated, dude. Holy shit. Cancer. Okay. Titties. Yeah, I got you. Dude, no. 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 We can't right now. Okay. Anyways, I love that. I feel like you like titties like wanted to come into the Cancer message to like emphasize how like earthquake like the situation is. Okay, Cancer, first week I'm not even gonna hold you. Like I literally just heard the craziest thing say, "You'll make my earthquake." Like what is his name? Charlie Wilson. Right? Okay, I'm hearing like a endless hellscape of like Charlie Wilson right now, being like, "You'll make my earthquake." And that's what I feel like the cat was just channeling. And I hate to bring that frequency into the space in terms of like, I'm not trying to make you like reflect on that vocal, but that is like literally what I just heard because like Cancer, I just feel like the first week of June, it's like you are being, the sun, Cancer, the sun, Cancer, you're about to have this experience where something makes you make something, it's like you can be the earthquake of the situation. Like, your condition, your real state, like what's really happening with you is like is in the conscious light, and it is directly correlated with like what you receive back from the wheel. So you could like receive back, you could like spin this and it'd be like spin again, or you could spin this and it'd be like max win. It could be any of those things for you, Cancer, this first week. But I think the thing is like you can't hide what's going on inside anymore. First week of June, like what's inside of you is like flooding out. And so for my high vibing Cancers, this is crazy because some of you keep your pearls in there. Some of you like don't actually like let people into like the inner workings of your like genius mind. And so just to get so much so much light on the inside of how you really feel, it's like, oh, things manifest so fast. I think Cancer, like you're gonna like realize that when you like open up and show the inside of like who you really are, it's like so many people are like, oh, Cancer, like that's all like because I think you're reconnecting this first week of like Cancer, like that's what it was to be you. Like you are the person that gets to come up to people and be like, look at me, like look it's inside my trench coat. Like it's like that's what the first week frequency really is, when you get released from this net that you've been like trapped in and like just confined by and infuriated by, but like perpetually looping on. Once you're free from that in this first week, I just feel like the first thing you do is kind of like open up like what's been going on inside, and there's so much positive response. Like I think people know exactly how to help you when you open up how you feel. And I think this is Cancer like reconnecting to that inner poet, like the poetry of your life. Like, when you really actually like, sing the song or the cadence or the rhythm of like what your life moves at, like we all like attune to your frequency and we know how to respond to you. So just really excited for you because like I feel like there's Cancer, I'm just getting so many messages, but there's just so many Cancers that are just like, yeah, like it's kind of like, like I'm getting like, Alexis is like 16, me and my best friends are gonna go hike up this like mountain trail in Austin, and like when we get up there we're just gonna like lift our sports bras and be like titties out, yeah, because we just like summited this hike or something. That's how Cancer is giving. Like it's like, when you show that internal world, because I think also like, maybe your internal world, say you're someone who's like internal world is like very much not something that people would easily see from based on the outside. I feel like for Cancer this first week, it could really enlighten people, because I think Cancer thinks they're so like transparent. I think people know when like Cancer short circuiting, but I don't think that people like often know like what, just like I think Cancer thinks they're like way more like open with like their personal like dialogue and what they feel about what's going on. And usually Cancer's only like really giving intel into like how they nurture other things, or like I said, they're like short circuiting. So like you're not really always like getting the insight of a Cancer unless you're simpatico with Cancer. So for you to be in this energy this first week, this sort of like sun energy connected with the wheel, it's like, you know, low vibration, you know, it could get flasher, like what the fucky, like, whoa, cover up, what the fuck, there are children here type of frequency. Like, you know, if, you know, it could be like what's on the inside like leads to your misfortune, like it leads to like the mismanagement or the negligence that you've really been carrying out, you know. And even if you are someone who's on the higher end of that spectrum, like you're more like higher vibrational in your understanding of yourself, and you've done that embodiment work, you know that that was the motivation, right? You know that for Cancer, it's just like, well, it could get ugly, like it could get ugly, like it could be like that. Like, I just think that this is like all about consciousness for Cancer the first week. It's like things are becoming consciously aware of like what you really truly are inside and out. And that would be determined by your own conscious awareness. So, you know, it's kind of huge, but I just feel like it's like you get exactly what you want. It's like funny that you're going to realize it's like, oh, when I like, not only is it about showing the inside of what I am, but also like if I'm someone who also has the strength to like care about keeping up what I have on the inside, like tailoring that, curating that to like how I really want to feel about myself, then like maybe I could actually like, that maybe the next time when I open up, it's like people will receive not just like based on our alignment, but also like I can get something, like if I want something out of it, I can get that outcome, you know? Because I just think it's like Cancer wants certain things, wants certain like relationships, wants certain connections in life. But you're realizing in this first week that it's like, oh yeah, that's what the work of life is. It's like I have to work on myself internally and maintain that vibe, and I have to keep that to a certain rapport because that will dictate who I attract. But then also I have to work on the double-edged sword for me is I also have to learn on remembering to open up, remembering like once I get to the place I want to be in life, like keep staying open, you know, because I just think you're so shocked. I think Cancer, it's like I get like really positive surprise energy, like, you know, when like you might have thought something like really, you might have thought like you were in some hot water in some way that you're really not in hot water at all. Like I think maybe like the first week it kind of comes so like, whoa, because it's like I think you thought like you were, this is like I was ready to apologize, and like there wasn't even not only was there not even a problem, like it's good news, like it's like great news, you know. It's like, oh, okay. And I think it's positively reflecting like a level of your like emotional maturity and growth also, Cancer, like how you've grown into your emotional mastery as an individual. But also, yeah, I just feel like because it's so like, holy shit, carnival fucking level, like joy and ecstasy and like conscious light, like light to like all of witnessing just of all of it, you know, because that's what's happening. It just leads me to believe that like after deep transformation and deep accountability and like, you know, but that wouldn't that be how it is, Cancer? It's like usually like there are no ooga booga booga, there's no boogeyman, right? Usually Cancer, it's just like we have that projected image to like trigger transformation. So I think also this is like the beauty of like sometimes the universe has to put bigger like, you know, fire under your ass, you know, bigger excuse me, I'm like blocking the cat, but some, you know, bigger things in line just to make sure that you don't, you know, just so that you don't, you just remember I'm also recording live, but yeah, just so that you don't also have these experiences where it's like you're not staying stagnant in a way that otherwise if there was no like fire in your ass or like perceived threat or danger, then maybe you wouldn't move, you know, because there is that sort of like, you know, there's that cardinal, you'll move on the emotion of things, but again, there needs to be that ability to like deepen the pull, you know? And so I think this is all about you getting a deeper experience of life, you know, bigger wins in life, bigger size of relief, you know, big these sorts of things for you, Cancer. So anywho, let's keep going. Holy shit. Yeah, okay, Cancer. Like, I think Cancer, like the first week of June, I'm gonna really not hold you. You're like professing who this is for you. You're like, this is who it is. It's out. You know, and I think it took a lot to brace for what would happen when you told, like, because I think this is a connection that you know you've had to work on, but I think it's so much light on the planet that you're grounding down. That's how massive it will be. It will make this connection like makes waves, Cancer. Huge waves. You know, and it sources, it doesn't source a lot of things for other people. For your life, this connection sources a big portion of it. First week. And you're in the awareness of that. Whatever that might look like for you. But this could also be like an internal dialogue where it's like finally because of the union that you like, you're acknowledging that you have to be married to your own soul. Your masculine is for your divine feminine, like within. So you need to accept that. Because I feel like a lot of cancers too, like I said, if you've inherited that wound where it's like maybe your parents had issues with like loving one another, it can be really hard for Cancer to like inherit that like familial nurturing wound when, you know, you had examples that you feel so family oriented, but like your components like mom and dad and me don't get along, they don't like each other, you know, whatever, right? So this is huge because this is like the prophecy. Like it was always going to be that at this month, this year, this time, you were going to accept that like I'm whole. Like I am, when it comes to my parents, even if their shit failed, even if it was dysfunctional, my existence reiterates the one possibility where it could be simpatico and it could, you know, meticulously work out for you this first week. And I think that like instantly reverberates. I think once you heal this like inner child feeling of like, you know, parents getting along for the sake of you, like, you know, you are always worth that, Cancer. Like your existence is worth it. That's why they brought you here, you know, conscious or unconscious. That's why you're here now. You know, it was ordained for you to be here, Cancer. And so you matter in that way. And it matters that you find that sense of like internal union, that like we're gonna work together, because I think you're doing things consciously in the first week that make you feel like finally I'm not sabotaging my steps, I'm not sabotaging my divine masculine, I'm not sabotaging my divine, it's not back and forth, it's like both of them inside of you are like working together. And I just feel like this is kind of like the least toxic Cancer's ever been in their life. Like I feel like this Cancer season you're gonna be toxicity free. You're gonna really be like standing in this awareness that like, dude, like when I just work with myself, like it's funny what can change. It's, you know what I mean? It can be so dramatic, right? Because Ace of Pentacles, I think you finally feel like God has mirrored to you through this internal experience that's being reflected, the value that you have. You see the value in both aspects of yourself. You know, like I said, going no contact helped me understand, actually find more value for my parents, like in my life. Like I was able to go and grow into a mature understanding and a gratitude for like who I am. And now I get to give you this rock star ass person, but no one who can do what I do for others, 1717 star energy, no one who can do what I do for others is not in union with themselves, is not sitting here. So in my brain, you know, I only know the reality where my parents got it completely right and they gave their best and there was nothing but love sent to the child they chose to create. That's where I have brought my healing journey within myself too, you know? So in my world, it's like, I don't hear the excuses. Like, no. We got it, you know, we got it together. We got it propagating. And so like, for me, I feel like that's where Cancer is getting this first week, where it's like, you know what? It's my prerogative if I want to make that, if I want to write the story to where it worked out, because I worked out. I'm here. I'm being asked to live every day and it's fucking hard being alive sometimes. So you know what? I'm going to tell the story in a way that allows me to feel the success, you know, to feel like, you know, I am, no, sir. Sorry about the cat interruptions, you know, because yeah, you're in union, you know, you are in flow, you are in awareness, and it's just beautiful because I feel like this understanding of your value is also like the way that you embody, like you come across as a gift this first week to people. And like, also this is like coming into partnerships that feel like a gift to you, like when they come to you, that you come bearing gifts. Like Cancer, that's so you, your love language is so like gifty, like you're so like giving, you know, and you always like want to be like, you know, and that's like equally the love language you're willing to receive often. But this is like the value, it's like just like, oh, like new love and just like the gift of it, you know, like a bit like something just like, yeah, pentacle energy, you know. So that's the 1st through the 8th, you're having this huge like awakening that it's like you're right to like actually it's your right to actually be in union with yourself, you know? You can just continue writing out the story where it's like, you know, when I was conceived, they were on the brink of making something great happen. And this is why I ended up being so wonderful and whole. And that's what I do. I use my childlike imagination to think of that. And the 2nd week, June 9th through the 15th, when Jupiter goes into Cancer, it's like, geez, Louise-ski, this love is like the source of all your money. Like you thought you were fucking making bands before Cancer because you were never born broke. That's one thing about you, Cancer. You were never born broke. But you really weren't, not in your spirit, not in your like in your bank, in the real bank, you know what I mean? And so when that Wheel of Fortune expands your love, like this valuable love, it's like, this is so beautiful because this is like love that feels fucking actually valuable to you. And the Wheel of Fortune just like continuing to spend the maximum amount of opportunities for you to just continually, forever and ever, amen, see the way that this love is valuable to you, you know? And again, maybe that was the problem. Maybe you weren't understanding in your partnership sectors why no one was ever valuable enough for you. Like why no relationship could get you to really like see someone as like fully valuable. Maybe you weren't even seeing yourself as fully valuable, obviously, right? But the disconnect before the first week of June was that you weren't that wound, you know, that like the people who made me, they're the places where they didn't choose to like flow, you know, and you inherit all their blockages. You inherit the love and the hate, you know, and it plays out in your fragmentation of yourself. And so when everything is brought to conscious light, when you have that reckoning with yourself, it's like, hello, divine masculine, hello, divine feminine, you're whole. You guys made it work because I'm here. So we have to believe that there is a reality where our DNA is like locked in, like, you know, we're good. We're making something new. We're making something intentional. And when you rewrote that story that first week, I feel like now it's like the value. Second week is beautiful. Holy shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel, you know. I feel like second week, it's like you're getting to, I almost feel like I like blocked out this little bit of time for you second week. I don't even know how else to put it. That's like what I heard. It's like, you know, before things get locked, this is like the universe opening up a little window of time for a connection to come through. I'm not even shitting you. June is like a pocket for Cancer to have this like time for this love to blossom. Like this is the universe being like, okay, the wheel's only going to turn right now. So because we got right now to make this successful before like things tighten up, you know, like we won't be able to see each other consistently. Like, you know, this is like one of the funny things is like Dennis and I were long distance for 6 months out of our relationship when we first started dating. Like we dated for like 3 months in the summer. Then I went to school for 6 months and then he moved in with me after those 6 months. But for the 6 months that we were long distance, which it was going to be indefinitely, I guess, like in terms of like until I graduated college, or until we chose to move in earlier. But really, we were just kind of like, yeah, I'll go to Seattle. We'll still be dating. But there were 6 months and when we first started dating that we were long distance, and it was like the most magical time ever. But it's kind of like that. Like, it's like we've got this little pocket of time before like time is like our schedules or something's not going to permit us to be able to like do this, like just sell it like this wheel, you know? So it's like, it just feels like this fortunate time this second week where it's like, oh my God, we're spoiling ourselves. It's like, I have a feeling like the second week of June, like Cancer, like I'm just getting frequencies like where it's like, you know, like I think of like honeymoon frequencies where it's like you're in that honeymoon phase where it's just like, we just get to, like those 7 days are going to be the pyramid of your, like the next phase of this relationship, you know? It's like, we will remember these days as foundational. We remember these days as the days in which we fell in love before, you know? And it's like, it's also the kind of thing like, you know, if there was like, for example, like remember like before COVID where it's like, oh my God, we didn't know COVID was coming. And it was like things you got to see, like get successful, like you were successful in before like you got locked up, you know what I mean? Like the things you got to squeeze in before you couldn't do that anymore. And I'm just using that because I feel like a lot of people's schedules conflicted just because of like life at that time. So it was like people were like, damn, I met this person, but then COVID like really, you know, or whatever. And so it's like whatever that little bubble of time you have, like if I could tell you, Cancer, like the second week you're going to have some little bubble of time with some external reflection of the Two of Cups energy that you became conscious of the first week, and it's going to literally change everything. It's like the most romantic. I just almost feel like it's like funny, like because the way this is going to feel so like ordained by the universe, like we wanted you guys just to like find a time, like the universe, like I know you've tried to come so like into union with yourself so like hard and so like long. You really wanted to fix this sort of fragmented feeling because Cancer just doesn't want to feel like there's just always going to be some broken aspect of family. Like that's hard for you to understand. And so knowing that it's your choice to be whole is huge for you, Cancer. And I feel like this second week, it almost feels like they're literally showing me like, not that this is nothing new. They're just literally showing me like a Woody Allen like film set right now. And the idea of like being on a film set, they're not even showing me anything different, but it's like, it's almost like the way that it's almost going to feel like a simulation. Like it's like, you have some assignment, and the assignment in this little pocket of time before like this would not work. Like it's like, this is our window, and the window got created. It got created because you did it. You fulfilled the prophecy the first week. You came into union when you were supposed to come into union. Now you're manifesting light because your life force energy is flowing again. You need these two to be in union in order for this to flow so that you can keep manifesting the next phase of light. You did that, Cancer. So then the second week, it's like this random blurb comes up of time, and it may not only be for the second week, but I'm saying like you get introduced to this bubble of time that you're gonna have foresight of. Is like, and I just want to get this message out to you to be like, that's your bubble, like that. This is, so go into that knowing that this is the time for the most romance, the most like good feeling, the most like just again all this Cancerian energy that we're gonna have during your season. Like it's just so good before the retrogrades, before it's like all this directed energy, like you're meant to go. This is it. And so because this is like the kind of shit where I'm literally getting some crazy shit. I'm getting like the Notebook. I'm like getting like before niggas go off to war, like this, we got to make this honeymoon energy feel really good because like before we got to go, like, you know, because it's like the thing that you got to go close up next, you know what I mean? The things that we got to go finalize next so we can be properly ready for one another are going to be motivated. This is like the, oh my God, I get to see you for a week that I didn't expect to see you for a week for, like kind of energy. And it's like, you just want to know that like this week also does like juice you to like fucking fight these fucking demons and finish this shit off for you, whatever was happening in your life before you came into union. With how good this is feel. This is like total, like, I love it because I loved, like, when I first started dating my partner, like, I was just, like, I'm such a fucking date-ass bitch. It's, like, not even funny. And I feel that way where it's just, like, page of wands, like, go. Like, you're just going to get blocked out a little bit of time with this connection that forms because of you fulfilling the prophecy on it. Lover's energy, right? Lover, it's like the right choice. Yeah. Cancer, yeah. And so the 9th through the 15th is Nutter Butters. Let's look at the third week, the 16th through the 22nd. Nutter Butters, Cancer. Holy shit, Cancer. Cancer. Are you ready for your fucking... It's not Romeo and Juliet. It's like some other romance story that's more about how, like, the world falls apart and we have this. It's like, by the third week, you will know that God wanted you to have this before. Just before, so that it's almost like, yeah, it's like, the fucking shit could be on fire and me looking in your eyes. Like, that is this Cancer, your fucking Cancer season, your June is crazy. The third week, you are staring deeply into someone's eyes so much that, like, the shit around you could be, this is also where you're, like, torch the shit. Like, you know, I knew I was courting this person. It's like when I met my husband, I was like super transfixed, but it's also like, it was a light thing because like we matched on Tinder, right? So like when I first met my husband, it's like, okay, I'm very sexually attracted to this person. That's great. I think we can handle that. I think we can achieve that. But then it was like when we like when we just continued to speak to one another, it was like, oh, no, Sirski, sorry, kitties. But when we continued to speak to each other, it was like, okay, fuck what was going on. He's like, I'm ready to leave rehab. I'm ready to leave this life behind. I'm ready to follow you. Like, that is your third week. That is your third week. Like, straight up. It's like you have proof that this love will sustain the fire. This love is tower proof. There will never be anything that could take this down because it's made it through everything. Because I feel like you feel this way about yourself. You feel like to still have self-love after how hard it was to come into union and to find a way to make sense of your origins. You know what I mean? As fucked up as they may be hard to reconcile or whatever it is, Cancer, with you. I get it. But it's like, if you could do that, then you know getting this partner under this cosmic-ass, prophetic-ass month in this time in your life, in this cycle in your life where you know how significant this time of your life is for you, Cancer. It's like to have this person, you know they really are worth some shit because... it's like everything has already fallen down. Like they reflect that like everything. It's like, it's funny. And I think it's going to be juxtaposed because I told you about the third week, Cancer, in June. Like I said, it's like bigger destruction paradigm type of shit. And that doesn't matter. Like destruction is great for me because there's like, it's the stuff that's crusty. Like I'm telling you, Cancer, like I woke up today proper in like a rat obliterated like my old consciousness. So that way, like that's what's going in the fire. Because there's going to always need to be a fire. You just need to know what to put in the fire. And you should put old shit. You should put the shit you've outgrown in the fire and use it as fuel. So it's not just like clouding up your new picture all the time. But this is like the type of fucking energy that has you so fucking transfixed. But like the third week, the fucking sky is falling and you are like, eh. And I want you to understand it was prophetically, you were always supposed to have this when other people didn't have it. Cancer. And it's connected to the fact that it's going to feel so good because it's going to feel like Saturn in Aries for Cancer is fucking lit because it's the thing that you chose. You went up and did this. And that's what it feels like. You know, me and Dennis like feel so much ownership of our relationship because the universe had both of us buy in. Like we both had to initiate in this situation. And I think we both remember it as how like, wow, how proud we were of ourselves to have been so initiatory. Like, you know, there were ways where I felt like, you know, I was being forward, but I really wanted to move forward with this person. And he would be very forward in this, it like right back to me. Like it was just like, no, I'm like really like not playing around like about like where we're standing, you know, and I don't intend to like really need to like slow anything down. Like if it goes fast, I'm down for it to go fast type of thing. But this, like to be in the, you were ready for this. I think you always knew this was destined to fade and you were like super ready for this. So let's look at week 4 and then we'll wrap. 23rd through the 30th. Cancer, you're having the most romantic fucking June of all time. Oh my God. Wow. 4th week, I believe that the connection, okay, so literally the first 3 weeks you have with this person are like a gift. This energy, they're like a gift. They're like a time at a time. Like, holy shit, we only got 3 weeks. Let's live it up. Let's do everything. Let's stare at each other nonstop type of frequency, Cancer. It's like just going to be beautiful for you. This mirrored soul, you know, and souls, whatever it is, you know, this mirrored thing. But because you know by the 4th week, it's like, I got to go, like I have to go hermit mode. The connection's going to have to go. And this always happens, I'm telling you, as soon as you find your soulmate, you get initiated, you get to have, it's honestly an honor. Like, honestly, like, me and Dennis's literary connection is crazy. Like, when we get to write each other back and forth, oh my God. I love it because we're such inner dialogue ass bitches, like, in our souls, you know, we're such writers, both of us. And so to write to one another as, like, the way that we received love, because it's, like, physical connection was, like, not an option at that time, is beautiful. So the 4th week, just know, like, what I'm getting with this is, like, this connection goes completely, like, intuitive, telepathic, like internet, like, you know, you got to be like at a distance or whatever, because you now get to you get to become who you go in and integrate the new shadow you have now that you've been loved on properly all month. And you now it's like the next phase of the relationship is just like getting initiated through like keeping up the rapport. So June and Cancer season is just so beautiful. And I just feel like while the planets are direct, they're ushering this into you first 3 weeks. And then by the 4th week, it's like the relationship or the connection changes dynamic. Death card to the Hermit, right? You go from being out in the open and together and in each other's physical presence and like doing like fucking, I'm hearing shopping spree, like, you know, type of shit. Like, you're like fucking da da da. But then it's like, then we got to transform and it's like, we got to get to work. We got to like do the inner work. We got to keep this flame lit. Like the 4th week will be about just totally like in separation, 2 swords. We're going back. We're sending our truths back and forth to each other on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. And it's just beautiful because in the 21st century, it's like so great. I mean, you know what I mean? Being at a distance is just as like good now as it is to be in person in certain ways. In terms of like, if you just need to keep up with someone every day, you totally can. So I just think it's really exciting because this is like something that really endures and it's like really huge, Cancer. But you get, finally, you know, the union you came into is like proper. I mean, yeah, this is like, yeah, this is crazy, Cancer. This is absolutely crazy. Like truly everything is romantic. Yeah. Because in 3 weeks, this relationship will have, because of the fateful alignment that you have, this 1 pentacle you're getting at the top of the month is going to open up. You guys will build the 10 of Pentacles in 3 weeks. Yeah. And you knew this, the caliber of this relationship. You really did. Yeah. That's why you chose it. That's why this was the right judgment call. And it's going to really help these kinds of soulmates and shit. Like they really help with your like self-trust, self-worth. Like, you know, when you chose someone like that and it's like a really good investment and you can build something really fast with them, faster than you've really built anything with anyone else, you know, it just makes you feel really good about yourself. So they just mirror like a self-love you'll have. But Cancer, this is like, yeah, the most fucking romantic month of your life. So I'm very excited for you. This is gonna be really great. And live it up. And I wanted to get this out to you because I think like you need to like be in that mindset, because I just do see that like because of like, you know, circumstances, like you got this good time to ignite it, go as deep as you want to go, really give as much as you want to give, just to like really show like how far and how deep you want to be. Because, you know, if you have to like be at a distance, schedule conflicts, whatever, you want to have all these really beautiful memories that you really went for. You know, I'm talking like stay up all night type of back and forth type shit. So that you can be really, really, really juiced up to go in your hermit mode. Because I think, Cancer, you know the things that you still got to do. There's things on your to-do list that you still want to do before it's time to like settle down, I hear. And so before you get really settled in life, you know, this is going to be that spark for you. So congratulations, Saturn in Aries is so beautiful for you. This is such a amazing, this is like a beautiful fucking reading, Cancer. Just so excited, and I'm glad to have gotten you guys out today. Kisses, have a great June, and happy early birthday.